Hey guys, I want to talk to you about something real quick, right? Everyone received an envelope in their mailbox. In this time of difficulty that we are going through, in this corona issue that we're going through, everybody got to stay home, right? And so, what is one thing that we could do to help our community, to help our neighborhood, to help the people that we care about, right? And one of the things that we could do is really by making sure we fill out our census. Everyone was supposed to receive this in their mailbox, okay? The 2020 census. This is so important, so important, right? This is one of the ways for the country to count the population that it has, right? And once we know how many people live in a specific neighborhood, then the resources that are provided to that neighborhood would be more reflective of the amount of people that's living there. Let me give you an example of a scenario. Look at this scenario over here. Scenario number one, right? We have a family of 3, and then another family of 6, and so on, 2, and etc. Everybody, as you can see, there's baby, there's mom and dad. Everybody here is counted for. Now imagine if everyone here was supposed to receive $1. If the government was supposed to give everyone here $1. Once we are able to count everyone, we see that the total here are 20 people. So in that way, everybody, so that community, that neighborhood would get the $20 that it deserve, right? Everybody's counted here except the dog, right? But look at scenario 2. Scenario 2 here, the first family count the mom and dad, but they didn't count the child. So they only counted for 2 people. The next one, they just throw the mail in garbage and they didn't fill it out. The next one, they counted themselves, which is great. The next family here, they didn't fill it out. Maybe they forgot, or they said it was going to do it later. The next one also didn't fill it out. The lady standing by herself did not fill out for whatever reason. And the guy with the dog did not fill it out. I mean, he was too busy walking his dog and he forgot to fill it out. So in the end, for that neighborhood or for that community, the Census Bureau got the information that there's 4 people that's living in that community. So guess how much they're going to get? $4. That does not represent the community because obviously there's way more than 4 people in that community, right? But because people did not fill out the census, this is what happens. And once you get this envelope, go back and look in your mail, you will see the envelope right there. And you see there's a paper version to fill it out, right? But if you don't want to fill it out, if you want to do it faster, you will see that everyone has a barcode that comes with it, right? This barcode here, what it does is that it's so beautiful because this barcode will allow you to go online and fill this out online. And you will see that it's about 10 questions and it will take you about 10 minutes and you'll be done. And the answers that you provide will last for the next 10 years. So important. Okay, and if you don't have this letter or you misplaced it or whatever the case may be, you could still go to the website and they're going to provide you. You could go in there and then you will click on another section that says that you don't have the code. Once you click on that, they're just going to verify you by just asking you a few questions like your name and whatever, and then from there, you'll be able to fill out the applications from there. Again, think about it. If we need more schools in our communities, right? But the numbers there's not that many people that fill out the census, then it's going to be hard for us to get more schools because they're going to say, well, we counted here. There's 50 people in that community. So why do you need 4 schools? You don't need 4 schools for 50 people, right? But in reality, there's more than 50 people in that community. But it's because a lot of people didn't fill it out that's why they were only able to get the data for 50 people. That is why every single one of us must make sure that we fill out. And it comes, it's 1 per household. So once you fill this out, whoever is the head of the household when fill it out is going to put everybody's information. And the kind of information that they're asking for, they're not asking for your social. Nobody want your social. They're not asking for your immigration status. They don't really care about none of that. They just want to know how many people live in this community so that we can make sure that we give the resources that reflect that community. You understand? And so for that reason, some of the questions that they're probably going to ask you that's like sort of maybe you might feel a little type of way about is your date of birth and your phone number. right? The date of birth is just to know the age, so we know that there's this amount of people that's living between the age of this amount of people that's seniors, and so on and so forth. Your phone number is just in case they want to call you, because if you, let's say you fill out the form and you made a mistake, right? You wrote Adam Street, but instead of D, you probably put a B, and they're confused about it, or whatever the case may be. They might call you to maybe fix that or something like that, just in case. Otherwise, they're not going to call you. They don't need your information. They don't need those kind of information. They just want to know how many people in that neighborhood, how many people are black, how many people are white, how many people are Hispanic, so that the resources could reflect the demographic and the amount of people that's living there. So it's very, very important that we fill it out. There's certain neighborhood that have the lowest response rate to this census every 10 years, right? In Harlem, in the South Bronx area, or some of those neighborhoods, and some also in Brooklyn, that don't really fill this out. That's part of the reason why our neighborhood are also so much, like we lack so much resources, and we want to change that around this time. You understand? This is 2020. We know better. We are well informed now. We are more educated. We want to change those stuff, right? And so I really challenge everybody in those neighborhoods, and in South Bronx, and Harlem, and Brooklyn, to go in there and fill this out. Again, it's only about 10 questions. It takes about 10 minutes, and it's going to last you, these answers are going to last us for a whole another 10 years. So much could happen in the next 10 years. Right now, we're going through a tough moment with this COVID-19 stuff. Everybody's forced to stay home because that seems to be the best way to sort of resolve this issue. And so while we are home, if we have access to the internet, just go online and fill this out. If you can't fill it out online, there's a number that you could call, and they will help you over the phone, or you could fill out this form and just mail it back to them. But it's very, very important that we make sure that every household fill out the information. It's essential. And like I said, this information is protected by Article 13, right? Which says that no other government agency could come and take this information. Not even the president could come and take this information from the Census Bureau. Okay, this thing is protected. If anybody dares come and try to sneak and look or dig anything, they could go to jail for up to 5 years and have a fine of $250,000. So again, this thing is protected. Your information is protected. But again, if you get afraid and you don't fill it out, we are not going to have the resources that we need for our community. And this thing goes into everything. It goes into our Medicaid program. It goes to the school breakfast and lunch program. It goes to our Section 8. It goes into the WIC program. It goes to the SNAP program. So much program that we receive in our communities are all based on this information. So please, guys, make sure you fill it out. I'm counting on you to pass the information. You fill it out, and then you make sure you pass the information to the next person to make sure that they fill it out, and let's get counted for. If you don't fill out the form, there's going to come a time, I think maybe in May, I don't know, it might be delayed further because of what we're going through right now with coronavirus. But there's going to be a time where they're going to come at your door. They're going to knock at your door to make sure you fill out the form. And so you don't want nobody knocking at your door, because right now we don't know who's who. We don't know who we want to let in our house. So to avoid all of that, just go online and fill it out. If you can't, talk to your kid or whatever, or somebody that could help you, or someone who's tech savvy that could just go online and fill out the form for the whole family. Share the information, share the video, and let everybody be informed so we can make sure that everybody's accounted for. Please. Thank you so much.